neighborhoods, including Golden Hills and Harbor Shores, have found that blighted properties exist and illegal apartments exist without oversight and reasonable enforcement. As mayor, what steps will you take to step up enforcement so public safety and community values are maintained?
That's a very complex situation. Obviously, blighted properties in a neighborhood are unpleasant, and the neighbors have the right to enjoyment of their neighborhood without having these properties. Norwalk just enacted a blight ordinance. It also, when you have these kinds of ordinances and you have these inspections, there's a right to appeal. So it's not a cut and dry thing. You can't go in and just do something. The owners of the property have a right to appeal. It's something that has to take its course. I believe that on certain types of, or certain homes where they may be illegal apartments, then there is authorization to go in and do some inspections. But again, you have to issue a cease and desist order, and it's not something that's automatic. It has to go through the process. And so stepping up enforcement is important. Listening to the neighbors, going out and meeting the neighbors and finding out where these properties are. That's what I plan on doing. Finding out where the properties are that need attention, and then figuring out what the city needs to do in order to work either with the homeowner to help them, to advise them that they need to fix this up, or that they need to order a cease and desist order from the zoning department.
Mr. Moccia.
Yeah, just a point of clarification. I don't remember that part of the conversation. I do remember saying to you, are you interested in running for mayor? You said no. We'll get that squared away. And I never said that they were in town. I said they should be treated fairly as any other business. The blight ordinance was passed. Some people felt it didn't have enough teeth, but we said let's take one step at a time. We'll crawl before we walk. I agree. And people think the blight ordinance... Some people, better? Okay. It's like the computer, turn it on, turn it off. Some people think it's not strong enough, as I said, and if you do have the legal process to go through, it's not the end all, be all. We do actively, when neighbors advise me, and I receive numerous complaints every month about zoning violations. They report it to the zoning department, they go out and do the inspections. And if you go on to our website under complaints and violations, you will see a list that's probably up to about 200 homes that are under inspection, violations, cease and desist. And I think this is the problem beside whoever the mayor would be. The court system is just backlogged. And that is part of the problem that, trust me, judges do not want to handle zoning issues. They're the least sexy of all the cases they have. There's no complex litigation, no criminal trials. They get put on the back burner. Now, the state of Connecticut did set up, and I had proposed when I was chairman of the subcommittee for land use for the Council of Mayors, a land use docket. And the state finally adopted a trial land use docket to expedite zoning cases, such as blight cases. And hopefully, if it works in the Hartford area, they'll expand it to other jurisdictions, other JDs. I think that's the answer. We need faster court enforcement.
Mr. Rilling.
Since we're going back to BJ's, I totally disagree with the mayor because he said it in front of witnesses. He said these exact words: I need BJ's and Lowe's to come to Norwalk. So he can deny it now if he wishes, but that's his exact words to me. I remember it, and I was thinking to myself, is this the way the zoning commission is going to be run? And I was hoping not, but apparently that's the way it was run.
Mr. Moccia.
Well, you've missed 50% of your zoning meetings, and don't tell me about recusing yourself. The only item you had to recuse yourself was on BJ. You could have attended the rest of the meetings and the committee meetings. And I'll stand by my statement also. So he said, she said, I know what was said, and I know what's going on. I think we should move on to the issues and talk more about the issues, about what conversations were said between two people.
The next question is directed to Mr. Moccia. We haven't heard this issue discussed yet in the campaign, the issue of homelessness. Would each candidate tell what he will do at the city level and the regional level to help those who are homeless and to eliminate homelessness in our city?
Already done. put a coalition together about 2 years ago. We prepared it, and it's available online and hard copies. 10-year plan to end homelessness was recognized by the federal agency, Interagency on Homeless, as one of the best 10-year plans, not just in Connecticut, but in the country. We continue to work through Adam Bilski with the continuum of care. And we are approaching, we had a meeting here of regional cities to discuss that homelessness crosses the borders. They come along 95. There are no borders, there are no guards stopping people from going from Stamford to Norwalk, Norwalk to Bridgeport. That coalition has continued to work, working with the Community Health Center, and thanks to the federal government, Congressman Hines, we received a $500,000 grant to buy a mobile health van that we take down to the shelter, which people who have emotional problems, who are afraid to go to the hospital, can go there. They actually have a psychiatrist, social workers, dentists, physicians, to try and help them. We then do referral projects, trying to get them out of the cycle of homelessness. The 10-year plan is there, the continuum care plan is there, regional approach is there. I've met with first selectmen and mayors from this area about the homeless problem. We will continue to work for that. Adam Bilski in Human Relations has done a fantastic job. The problem that we now face are resources, and this is not a criticism of the state or the government. It's a question of resources. How much money can we get in? How can we improve the shelter? How can we find transitional housing to get them out of that cycle? You know, we just opened Jimmy's house, or building it in Liberation, which will provide apartments for families who may be homeless, who have needs. That's part of the issue. It's a combination of private, government, and state government and the city. I think we've done very well in that, but we've got a long way to go. It's not a simple solution to say, boom, you're not homeless anymore.
Mr. Rilling.
I don't disagree with Mayor on this. I believe that the 10-year plan to end homelessness is a model that other cities should look at. It's private-public partnerships, government, intergovernmental partnerships. I think it's a good plan. I did sit on the commission prior to, or I did sit on the commission that helped develop it before I left the department as a police chief. Moreover, when I was the police chief and the weather was inclement, we would send our officers out trying to find people that perhaps didn't have shelter and bring them down to the shelter. So again, I think the 10-year plan to end homelessness is a model plan that other cities should try to emulate.
I appreciate his comments and that. I will quote one more thing because, as I said this morning, both Harry and myself are veterans, and one of the biggest concerns we have, and one of the most largest increasing, when we do point-of-time counts between Stamford and Norwalk, that the number of veterans that are homeless can reach as high as 9 or 10% of those counted. That is a serious problem. I think the federal government has to do more for our returning veterans, our men and women, and the number of women that are homeless are increasing it, especially coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq with the emotional problems. Those are another situation. This is a time bomb ticking, and this resides with the federal government. It is not a Democrat, it is not a Republican problem. It's a governmental problem that they must address. Those men and women who gave their all, who now are needing help, and quite honestly, they ain't getting it.
Mr. Rilling.
It is a problem with the veterans returning, and the government does need to do more because they do come back emotionally scarred, physically scarred, and it's a lot different when our veterans return home from World War II, when they all came home together and they had a chance to really kind of unwind. You see some of our veterans coming home now, they're taken from their unit, they're brought back on a private plane, and they feel all alone, and they don't feel that they have any resources. So it is a problem with veterans, and I believe that we need to do more to take care of the people who put their lives on the line for our country.